So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Hi, and welcome everyone. My name is Mark. I'm bringing you the Draw 6 action of the RBC Securities Western Showdown, hosted by the Sasktel Curling Stadium at Swift Current in Saskatchewan, Canada. We've got a good match for you tonight. We've got number 9 ranked team, Satsuki Fujisawa, Kitami, Japan, taking on Kayla MacMillan of Victoria, BC. So already got action underway here in the first end. Have some rocks in place, so we might have some scoring here this end. So nice little hit and roll flopping underneath. So Team Fujisawa, pretty decent setup here so far. One mostly buried behind that guard, and then one kind of just behind the tee line. Play on. Sweeper's managing this, trying to hold it up for a line. Definitely can try to get this on the high side here. You know, I would like to touch center line, of course, here, but definitely can get on the high side. Good snaps here. And this one looks to be settling in just, yep, halfway in the 12-foot here. Pretty good rock. There is a run here that they can take on since it didn't get fully buried behind that other guard. So a little bit of discussion here. And it looks like they are going to take on this double here. Just getting clarification on where to hit. Having the broom kind of close to the center of the stone, so I wonder if they think it's just going to either run dead straight or even float out a little bit here. Rock is on the way. Did kind of hang out there. Does make contact and kills everything. So now MacMillan's going to get a chance to really try to sink one in dead behind the guard here. This is the first I caught of this week's events here. If you notice that they're just taking inside the edge of the 4 to try to get a rock just behind the center line guard. So let's not be curling a lot here. So for those of you that are watching maybe in the YouTube chat, has this kind of been like this most of the week? Feel free to chime in. I will be watching the chat on the other side screen today. Weight's a hair bit heavy. They're going to have to try to curl this just to bury a piece. Able to get it partially buried, but it is back 8 foot, almost in the 12 foot here. So, plenty of room for Fujisawa to get shot rock out of it, but we'll be interested to see if they can vary it. They're taking a hair more ice here, going outside the edge of the forefoot, so we'll see if they're able to find some curl here. Sweeper's on this early here. Now kind of slowly backing off, so I think they're pretty close about the weight now. What are we looking at for light? It is starting to finish here, but they kind of just lost it all the weight here. They got the curl they wanted, but not quite the weight. So Fujisawa is sitting second shot, and MacMillan's still sitting shot rock in the back meeting. Taking a hair bit more ice here on the out-turn side, counterclockwise side. So maybe expect to see a little bit of curl on this side. I think this is first that skips rocks for MacMillan. Sweeper's backing off this. No, trying to go a little bit. Looks to be by the guard. Now, where is this going to end up here? This one is going to come a bit heavy. Just barely wick off the one at the back, 8 foot, and settle 12 foot. So, Team MacMillan sitting 1-2 right now. But both shots well beyond the tee line, so Fujisawa looks like they're reflecting down here. So they have a couple options here. They have backing here, but I don't know if they'll really want to use this. I think we would expect to see something maybe top 8 just by the forefoot. Need to be shot here for sure. First, the skips rocks here for Satsuki Fujisawa. Sweeper's on this early. Got plenty of room here. Expect him to maybe switch. Outside sweeper looks like they want to jump in here. Plenty of room. Now it's just finishing it. Find the line here. Switching to the knife at the end. It does settle. Shot rock. Mostly buried behind the guard. From this long cam, it looks like they can see. Gosh, not quite half here. So we'll see them make a play on this here. Not a ton of curl. I think this is going to be kind of a tricky shot here. We're going to have to discuss how much weight you need to move this rock. And how much curl you're going to be able to get out of this line here. So I think even with the down weight, the sweepers would be able to keep it straight. We'll see. Lapsus skips rocks for Team MacMillan. A pretty big kick for him. Throwing a bit more weight than expected. Sweeper's on this early. Both sweepers going now, and it wrecks on the guard. Wasn't sure if that was tight out of hand. I think Fujisawa's going to look at, see if there's like a play on those back rocks to maybe try to bring that one top corner into play, but it's there. If you had to throw it, you probably could. But nope, I think they're just going to take the easy route and just open the draw here. Final rock, first in. Fujisawa looking for draw to 8-bit, just the 8-bit to get the deuce. Got a break point there, starting to move it a little bit, but hand goes up. I think they like this here. Got the backing and nice draw. So Fujisawa makes the draw for 2, so they'll take a 2-0 lead. Team MacMillan will head up hammer in second in.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
And we're back. Thanks for everyone that's joining us. Again, my name is Mark Hill. Bring you the Draw 6 action here at the RBC Securities Western Showdown, hosted by Sasktel. Curling Stadium was Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Canada. Got a good game here. Satsuki Fujisawa did get their deuce from the first end. Team MacMillan will look to answer back here. Second end. Guards going up here. Got a tight center line guard for Fujisawa. And MacMillan gets their corner. Thanks to over 500 people joining us on the Curling Zone YouTube page. Again, my name is Mark. I'll be monitoring the YouTube chat, so feel free to chime in where you're coming from. So I saw DW Harwich asking about the audio. I'll try to speak up a little bit louder. I'm not sure I'll give you too much about the on ice air or on ice sound. Fujisawa is able to make that draw behind cover. Mostly buried, but without a lot of swing here, not super accessible. So Team MacMillan will look to just kind of corner freeze on this one top 4. Weight looks to be pretty close here. Sweeper's on it. Line's getting a hair tight here. Oh, and this is going to be well short. Sweepers didn't seem to be too worried about it, so I wonder if that's just kind of tricking them here. So the guard, even though they didn't make the shot, the guard ends up in a decent spot where there's a pretty wired run double here. So looks like Team Fujisawa put a 1, single finger, so my guess is they're just asking for a high guard here. This one's got some room, so I'm looking to curl it just a little bit here. Want to keep some max separation here. Wouldn't mind a little bit of an angle, but close to the center line here. This one is coming and is guarding a little bit of an angle, but it's on this high side here, so they'll look to run this back and kind of move some stuff around. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the red in the middle into a good spot. I think they're okay with trying to lose everything here. Pretty big extension. Sweeper's on it now. It's going to make contact. And just like that, oh wow. That's really well done. Keeps the red in play. It's not in a great spot because Fujisawa can use it, but on the other side, we got a couple corners. Let's take a look back at this. Good clean extension here and well managed. Hits it, makes it, and all the yellows go away. So Fujisawa's going to look to draw behind, but now they're drawing behind a MacMillan guard. Got to sweep this here. And it's going to get partially buried. Just 12 foot here, so while it is shot rock, it's not super dangerous here, so looks like Team MacMillan's going to elect to try to swing around the corners that they now have, and maybe put something just above the team line here. Have not seen inside out shot yet this game myself, so curious to see what this does, but teams may have, I'm sure they've looked at this during practice and expect them to be close here. Sweeper's just escorting this down, don't seem to be too worried about the weight here. Got room by the guard and now going to the curl side here. We'll see where this ends up. Trying to get it buried. And they are able to get a little bit of it tucked behind, but it's still pretty accessible for a team of Fujisawa's caliber. Good to see you get a little bit of board weight shot here to hit and kind of roll back towards the center, bring the plate back there. Having to curl it early. Sweeper's indicating maybe the weight is just a hair up. Now switching back for the line. I think they're going to be pretty close here. It does make contact, and let's see where this rolls. It's going to overroll just a hair, but mission accomplished. Team Fujisawa sitting 1-2. With shots kind of not buried behind the guard, but almost, kind of Christmas treed a little bit. Team MacMillan looking to make a play here. Move some rocks around here. There is a double, and they can roll the shooter to a good spot. Sweeper's not on this at all. Gonna make contact on the top one. Ooh. I thought, that's kind of surprises me. It looked like it was gonna make a little bit more noise than that. There, kind of decision time here for Fujisawa. I got a couple of options here. They can try to straight guard that one. They can try to tap it up. Looks like I think they're electing to go ahead and guard that rock. I think that's the right call because you can always use that guard later. I think my arena club person self would play a tap here, but that's why I'm commentating and not being my games aren't being streamed right now. That's a great guard, well managed by the team here. Decision time for MacMillan here. A couple options. You can take on the run. This run's pretty long. You could probably get all three out here, but there is room if they think they can draw behind, and I think they're discussing this. Looks like they elected to go ahead and take the draw. So last of the Vice's rocks here. Now this side of the sheet should curl. You saw that in the first end compared to the other side. Sweepers, not really worried about the weight. Maybe a hair heavy, if anything. Going a little bit at the end to try to get some sweep. And this one is going to settle shot rack, but kind of back four. So definitely room for at least one stone, if not two. So pretty simple call here for Team Fujisawa. They'll like to just kind of freeze one on top here. Again, want to thank everybody for joining us. If you are looking for more curling action, or you can head over to the Curling Zone YouTube page and find all the draws that they are broadcasting at any time, including notes with if you want to watch a game with commentary. Those will be the feature games with commentary, and then we'll have the other ones where it will be just your normal production team showing you all the action here. This one's coming in nicely, and just want to curl just a little bit at the end, and is now shot rock. A little bit of a bump, so there is space for MacMillan to kind of, make a play on it and still keep the one behind. But a little bit of a delicate shot, and maybe a little tricky with the way the ice has been kind of behaving here. Can't imagine they're throwing a ton of weight here. They definitely want to make sure that they're moving it. They'll want to get to the inside, so maybe we'll see kind of like back 12-ish weight with that broom. Maybe a little bit more, but given the amount of curl we're getting, I can't think it's a ton of weight here on this call. Coming down here, sweepers are off this, wanting it to bend as much as possible to try to get to the inside. Don't think we're in danger of wrecking on that yellow. Makes contact, a little bit of a roll. That's a good shot. Team MacMillan sitting 1-2. Shot rock, pretty much, yeah, shot rock just biting the pin. And their second counter in a pretty good spot where there are some jam possibilities. Fujisawa's gonna go ahead and try to make a play at both these rocks. There is a double here. Yeah, kind of have to make it, I think, over the red over the top here. So I think they're just discussing where they're hitting this. If you get to nose, there is another double, but you worry about it jamming on that yellow. And then even that top red may, spin and roll over on that top, the other yellow. That's kind of in that 5 o'clock spot. So, thanks to the production team for getting a nice overhead view so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Definitely want to make sure you're getting rid of at least one here. Don't want to open the door for a 3 and, kind of give up that deuce you worked hard for in the first end. Last rock for Fujisawa. Attempting a slash double. Sweeper's on it early out of hand here. This one's moving quite a bit. That must have picked. That was... Yeah, that moved a lot more than you would have expected on that line. Yeah, just somewhere about halfway down the ice, they saw it move, and the sweepers gave up on it pretty early. It was pretty dead there, so bit of a bad break for Fujisawa. Team MacMillan will need to draw the 8-foot to get a 3 here in the second end. Final rock, second end. Team MacMillan draw the 8-foot for 3. Sweeper's not touching this one here. They got plenty of room, just the weight here. Now they're going just a little bit at the end here. And this will settle in just nicely, just about the T line. So, bit of a bad break for Fujisawa. Team MacMillan makes their draw for 3. Team Fujisawa will have hammer in the third end. And we'll have that for you just after this break.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of
And we're back. Third end here. Scores Team MacMillan 3 to Fujisawa's got 2. Team Fujisawa does have hammer. MacMillan's throwing up center guard, and we'll see corner guard thrown up. Just taking a peek at some of the other action that we've got going on this current draw. Team Ha is up 1-0 over Team Cameron. They're wrapping up their second end over there. On the men's side, Team McEwen's up 4-0 over Team, I don't know if that's Libus. Team Kalthoff is team over Team Mosley, 1-0. Returnez up 1-0 over Team Brenner. And the Ross White Rink is up 2-1 over Team Moser. Getting back to one of our feature games, we got some rocks in play. MacMillan looks to be coming behind their center. This one's got a miles to curl here. Outside sweeper looking to push this over. And it's going to be wide and a hair light. They didn't give up on it in time, so it is touching the rings. So if they want, they could try to hit it and roll in, but Team Fujisawa is going to go ahead and try to sink one underneath their corner. Sweeper's on this early here. I think initially worried about the line. Now going for distance. And I think this one is going to come in. Now how are you going to get this to the 8 foot? Just shy of the 8 foot, but is pretty buried. So shot made. Still only on the 5th rock, so can't really peel anything. So we will see Team MacMillan just go ahead and see if they can draw one in the center. We're playing on the intern side, however, so let's see if they've got a read on this kind of line and the weight, since they were light on the last one. Sweeper's just kind of following along, not really sweeping this one. This one appears to be a bit heavy. Where is it going to end up settling here? Crosses the T line, and that is being swept to, ooh, a little spin on the back here, a little dirty spin. And we'll settle for shot rock. So now with it being the 6 rock at the end, Fujisawa does have the option. You know, they are making the pro play here. Not worried about being shot rock after this, but taking care of that center guard. That's the trouble rock at the end for them. But they're going to try to do it in a way where it's rolling over to another corner to really try to lock in that side there. Hits it just a hair thin and doesn't get the double, just gets the straight peel. That was the other option. They could have possibly doubled off that one that was biting the 12 foot. Would have been a little bit of a bonus, but not really needed. Team MacMillan, they're going to go ahead and take their turn at a hit here. Trying to run back this corner, straight back. Sweeper's off this one. This one maybe a hair wide. Yep, we're just going to straight peel. Makes contact on the one in the top 12. Where is this going to end up here? And that is going to end up sitting second here. So with no clear double, without being a run double here, it's going to kind of handcuff Team Fujisawa on a little bit. It's taking kind of their options away from the blank here. So a little bit of discussion on how you want to get to kind of frozen onto that rock in the back 8, back 12 area. That's kind of on the 4 o'clock of your screen here from the overhead cam. A couple of ways to get there. You can just straight draw there, or maybe play a tap on the top one. Looks like they're electing to go ahead and play the straight draw here, which I think that's probably the easier call. This one hasn't crossed completely over the center line yet. Starting to make its move now. We'll see how sharply it turns. It's got quite a bits to go here. But I think they're a little worried about the weight being a hair heavy. And it is just a hair heavy. So it ticks off the side of the red. It is shot rock, but mostly open here. So Team MacMillan will be looking to make a play on this rock here. I think some decision being discussed here if they're wanting to make a play on the top one or just the one on the back here. I think they're a little worried about some jams here, possibly if they hit it, you know, just a hair on the high side. So it looks like they are going to make a play on this top one. Trying to make this double here. Looks like on the release maybe sent it a hair wide. This feels wide to me. Does end up hitting their back one, but both spilling out here. So maybe a little bit of a mistake there. So Team Fujisawa with shot rock now does have an opportunity to try to set up their deuce. I have a couple options here. My initial thought was to draw open on the other side, but they're electing to kind of try to freeze one on here. I think if you try to freeze one on here, it does bring 3 into play if MacMillan doesn't play anything with weight on their next one. Sweeper's trying to knife this one over here. Starting to move. And is going to, make a good contact there. So Team Fujisawa sitting 1-2 here on the rocks with the one that they just thrown. That's going to be pretty tough to get out. I mean, I think there's a way to get all the rocks going here, but you're definitely losing your back red one if you're trying it. Setting the broom, dead center of the rock here. Expect to see some big weight here. Cleaner release, it looks like, on this one here. Sweeper's on it just to hold the line. Is curling a little bit, but should get plenty of nose here. Does make the hit, and the Fujisawa rock actually spins back up a little bit, which is probably good for MacMillan. It's not in a great place where you can try to pick it out and keep your shooter, so that's a sneaky good shot there. So, not looking to be too cute here. We'll just expect to see a hit. This may end up being a blank end here. Does make contact. Yeah, both rocks go out. Fujisawa rock remains here, so we'll likely see some exchanging of hits for the rest of the end. First skipped rocks here for Team MacMillan. Nice. Easy release there. Gonna make contact. I think they were trying to get a little bit of a roll towards the inside, especially with the way that the broom was placed. So it does kind of roll out. So so Fujisawa will get an opportunity to kind of just test out a line for free here. So looks like they're going to play just this inside out kind of draw, but playing on the other side. Just asking for a quick adjustment of the ice here. Here comes the in-turn draw. Moving nicely. We thought it was a hair light initially, but quickly backing off, and this one is going to come to rest just on the tee line. So MacMillan will get a chance to play another hit, just on the other side here. Again, taking the center of the rock with the, this time, I think they're going to throw out turn and see if they can get maybe a little bit of a flop towards the middle, make the blank attempt a little bit tougher. Final rock for Kayla MacMillan. Sweeper's off this one as well. And that one is also going to make contact on the high side. Again, maybe, and I don't know if that was their intent to just straight peel it. I mean, you probably figure wherever they put it, Fujisawa is going to be able to make a blank here. So, but without that rock in play, Fujisawa, instead of having forced into a line, will get an opportunity to play a line they want. So, looks like they're going to play this and turn on this line here, just to see what it does. Broom goes up, so it's good throw. And we have a blank. So Fujisawa will retain hammer, heading into the fourth end. We'll have for you after this break.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
All right, guys, welcome back. After a blank in the third end, Team Fujisawa will look to get back, either tie the game or get ahead, ideally. Going here. The fourth end of the sixth draw in the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. First rock for Team MacMillan did come into the rings here. Fujisawa is going to ignore it and throw up their corner. And we'll see what MacMillan does here. I missed the call earlier, so I wasn't sure if they were going to try to throw a guard more in the center line. I imagine that's the call, and not really guarding the one that's off center here. This one's got a bit of room here. Needs to curl. Sweepers are working it over. Gets it a little bit closer to the center line, but not quite on there. We're looking to go ahead and hit the open one now, since guard's not really covering it. Try to get a little bit of inside roll here. It's going to be contact, but hits it pretty thin. Do end up killing that MacMillan stone, but because it hits so thin, lose the shooter here. So now Team MacMillan will get a little bit of a chance to kind of reset, at least in terms of placement here, and draw one behind the guard. This one's coming in. Still a little bit of room to curl. They really get it buried, but weight's pretty close. Sweepers didn't really want to go, just because it's going to be a hair heavy to sweep it, but it is pretty buried, but accessible here behind cover. can see in the YouTube chat talking about, yeah, congrats to the Japanese women for winning a spot through the Olympic qualifying event. Nice to have additional curling coverage, watching. So if you watch the Olympic qualifying event, now get a chance to watch some additional curling. Thankful that Curling Zone's able to bring you this coverage from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Always good to see curling for free here. Getting back to this game here, they're going to make contact on this shot rock here. Fortunately, they hit it just a hair on the high side, so they aren't able to bury their shot rock. Does push MacMillan a little bit in the open, but that Fujisawa rock is very accessible here. Just kind of talking about where they want the target rock to end up here. Looking to see if they can play this with a little bit quiet weight, just so they can make sure they can control the rock and hopefully roll to a good spot for them. This blue's starting to curl, trying to get a little bit of finish at the end there. Does get a tiny bit of an inside flop here, but not undercover. Again, accessible. So looks to be that we're trying to set up a situation here where the first team to kind of make this hit and roll is going to get control of the end here. So Team Fujisawa's attempt to make this hit and roll now. Maybe a little bit of a pop here. Sweeper's on it now. It's starting to move quite a bit. Definitely going to get to the low side. And well judged by the sweepers. Well, it's not directly behind the guard. It's pretty much directly in front of the Team MacMillan rock that's kind of in the back four spot. So really not easy to remove. Now there is a little bit of room in the forefoot, so Team MacMillan just going to elect to ignore that and try to get one maybe corner frozen. So it's a little bit behind the guard and partially frozen on top of that Fujisawa rock. Sweeper's on this early. This might be a hair light. Guard's coming up into play and they back off this. And that's going to end up settling as a 2 guard. So now it does kind of line it up to where they're able to run it straight back. So I suppose it is usable here. So Team Fujisawa is going to have to be pretty careful about that. Where you could just kind of draw around top 4 underneath the guards. They've got to run, I don't know if that's a double run double, if they were able to sink one there. So they are going to play on this other side here. And I think that's probably the best call. Not getting a ton of finish on this in-turn side, so electing to make this draw on the out-turn side. May have to guess a little bit on the speed here on this line, since I haven't seen a ton here. And they're not trying to draw to the center line, just trying to draw, kind of in line with the guard, almost maybe Christmas tree in a little bit here. Okay. Ends up settling as a guard, kind of behind the the two other MacMillan rocks, but in a good spot where you can't. It's not going to run back on the Fujisawa rock that is currently shot rock here. So without that run in place, looks like Team MacMillan is going to elect to take the intern draw and try to get shot rock behind the guards. This one's sailing on them. And they are going to sweep this out of the rings here. So now Team Fujisawa is going to look to try to do what Team MacMillan did and try to draw one in there. Maybe not quite the same, but definitely drawing in here, and maybe just put something like kind of top four and really take control of the scoring area here. Sweeper's a little worried about line there, but it's coming in nicely. And does tick off the one in the top 12 foot. Rolls to shot rock, and a little bit of a mistake there. I think maybe it just kind of surprised the sweepers on how much it would finish there. So Team MacMillan here with a chance to make a hit and roll behind the guards and possibly take control of this end back. This is a tricky spot. Some of the teams have missed some of these hits on the high side. First, skips rocks for Team MacMillan. Sweeper's off this one. Having to go a little bit to curl side. Is gonna just basically a nose hit there. Doesn't get the inside roll. So Team Fujisawa will have their shot to make a hit and roll. Although with the Rockbird's place, they're gonna have to play it with quiet weight and hit across the face completely just to get to roll, because they'll need to get a decent amount of the 4 foot here. Gotta check the scoreboard here because I saw some guys walking behind there. Looks like Team MacMillan must have scored a big end. If I go to curling zone, it says 8-0 and a final there. So looks like the boys in that sheet get to call it a curling night. Coming back to our game, first it skips rocks for Team Fujisawa. Looking for the quiet hit and roll here. Sweeper's on initially for the line, now going to curl it at the end here, and they're going to end up hitting those as well. So I think they liked the weight, and they were expecting it to curl just a hair more. I caught them by surprise here. So Team Fujisawa with a chance to really kind of put the pressure on. gives MacMillan a chance to get rid of the shot rock here by playing this kind of slash double here. Have to be careful not to hit this too thin and end up taking out yours and potentially giving it the big end here. But this is probably the right call. Last of Team MacMillan's rocks without hammer, 4th end. Oh, they're playing quieter late. Is this just the nose hit? Oh, this might just be the nose hit in the roll. Okay. I thought they were taking on the slash. This works effectively because, it takes out, effectively cuts out the possibility of bringing that top 12 Fujisawa rock out of play here. Can't make a play on that. Yeah, you have to be mindful of the red. Cuts down the known draw paths here because they'll need to get halfway in the forefoot. So looking at a couple options here, I think they're thinking about taking the out turn draw through that kind of port here that they played earlier in the end, but looks like they're just going to try to draw the side of the forefoot. Looks like Yumi is thinking that maybe they can play some sort of combination on the top 2 red onto the yellow, try to tap that in here. But this is the more straightforward call, and I think this is probably the right call. Yeah, 2 points is fine here. I mean, still early in the game here. You want to get your deuce back. Get your deuce and then force, and you're tied going into 6. So last rock, 4th in, Team Fujisawa, looking to draw to the forefoot, score there too. Sweeper's just escorting it here. I think this line may be a hair slower than they think. Just trying to get to the side of the forefoot. Have to be careful not to tap that top red. Looks like that we're around it here. Now where is it going to settle down? And brooms go up, and that's a good draw. They draw to the back forefoot. So Team Fujisawa gets their deuce. They'll take a 4-3 lead going into the 5th end that we'll have for you just after this break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan. Welcome to therockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, The Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
I have an idea.
Alright guys, welcome back. Got the fifth end for you of the sixth draw in the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Once again, my name is Marco. Joining you guys on behalf of the team at Curling Stadium, bringing you this draw from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Canada, between Team Fujisawa out of Japan, playing Kayla MacMillan out of Victoria, BC here. Fujisawa gets their deuce, take back the lead of this game. Team MacMillan looking to answer back with hammer. Fortunately, their first rock didn't quite make it past the hog line, so a little bit of work to do. Team Fujisawa trying to draw behind their center guard, ends up being short and leaves kind of a little bit of a stagger there. So Team MacMillan looking to take advantage of those guards and abandoning their corner guard strategies, looking to draw behind here. It's got room behind the guard, but not the weight, so ends up leaving there another guard. So potentially a messy end coming up here. We'll see which team blinks first. Team Fujisawa without hammer here, they're content to go ahead and bring the play to the center here. There's a big wall of guards here, so they'll go ahead and see if they can kind of swing one around here. Had a chance to see Team MacMillan try to take this line. They're taking a hair more ice, so not exactly the line, but they should have a feel for the weight here. Sweepers on this with a little bit more urgency here. Looks like we're by the guard. Can we bury it? And how far deep can we take this? So it is going to be shot rock, and it's pretty buried behind the center line here. So with the stagger of the guards here, and without hammer, Team MacMillan's going to have to start moving some stuff around here. So while they did try to come around the center guard on their last rock, now they're going to see if they can peel and maybe roll to a corner here. A little bit of discussion on where we're hitting and which ones possibly rolling, I think. Sweepers on this one early here. Makes contact. They rolling one of the rocks into side of the 12-foot. Definitely opens up the front here. And does stay on, so Team Fujisawa does have to address this rock here. On the wings here, always a little bit tricky, electing to play this one inside out. Sweepers on this early from line. Both going now. And that's well swept. I thought that was going to cross the face and roll out. But very important that they kept that one in play, as it lessens the chance of a blank. Still may see a blank here with how capable these teams are hitting, but definitely going to be a little bit harder. So Team MacMillan opting to hit the one closer to the center line here. And again, on these little out-turn hits, they tend to be floating a little bit. Oh, this one does come in. And rolls to a good spot behind the center guard here. So pretty easy call here. Just trying to run this pretty much straight back here. Or just a sliver high nose here. Playing out turn. Gonna have to sweeper's trying to work this down. Makes contact on the top one and pushes it by. Just a little bit too much on the high side. So Team MacMillan now with an opportunity to really kind of set up their deuce by splitting the rings here. The initial thought was to kind of, again, split the rings or maybe even kind of freeze near that Fujisawa rock on the top 12. I think the concern about that is if you do that, then Fujisawa's hitting the current shot stone and possibly rolling behind the guard. So Mace, I think they decided on a little bit of a split here. Where you're gonna get one rock behind that corner. I think they're maybe just drawing them in the corner. I thought they were indicating a little bit of a tap split. So just straight drawing behind the corner. And that one is going to settle back 8 foot. Not an easy place to kind of freeze this too. And if you miss the freeze, you bring in a potential big end into play here. So Team Fujisawa is going to look to get rid of a rock here and maybe two. Big kick, good clean release. Sweeper's on this right away here. Unable to save that. Well, unable to keep it on the high side to potentially get that double here. Just gets to pretty much nose. And it is not currently shot rock. So Team MacMillan can ignore that one. And it looks like they're going to do so by drawing to the wings here. Again, drawing to the wings here just to get some separation and not leave Fujisawa with another chance for that slash double. Thanks to everyone that's been joining us. If you've been with this broadcast all night, or if you came over from the men's feature sheet, my name is Marco, bringing you commentary for this game between Team Fujisawa and Team MacMillan. This one seems to be settling in nicely. It's just going to finish just behind the tee line. Halfway in the 8 foot, half foot in the 12 foot. More importantly, that is second shot rock, and no easy doubles here. So Team Fujisawa is going to have to address one of these rocks here. It looks like they're going to address the open one, at least for now. You could, make an argument to play on the other one or draw there on that other side. But then you do bring some scary things into play here. So keeping it simple, hitting the open one. Just a clean early on. Now going to the curl side. It's going to make a hit. And where does this roll to? It's going to roll behind the guard. It's a pretty good roll. But unfortunately, it is rolls to a spot back 12. Just a hair more curl, where they can hit it just a little bit thicker. I think they could have maybe rolled it to keep it in the 8 foot. So MacMillan gets a chance to essentially put that shot back and just kind of draw splitting the rings somewhere in the 8 foot, not leaving a double for Team Fujisawa. First, the skips rocks for Kayla MacMillan. Set it just a little bit here. Starting to curl now. Sweepers like it. And just managing it here. Looking to settle this just behind the tee line. No doubles. Does end up settling above the tee line. So Fujisawa will have the chance to make another attempt on this hit and roll. This rock placement just above the tee line does make this gives her a little bit more room to make this roll here. She's pretty close on the first one, so expect her to be pretty close on this one. Final rock for Team Fujisawa without hammer in the 5th end. Looking for a hit and roll here. Sweepers again going late here to finish it. Now going back to the straight side, makes contact. Where's this going to end up? It rolls, and it's going to roll behind cover. That is pretty good. That is a wonderful shot. Well managed by their sweepers. And yeah, for Team MacMillan, that takes the air a little bit out your sails here because it gets over buried there. And how straight this ice has been running, not sure it's completely accessible. You only have to move it 2 feet. But it's scary here. I suppose you can kind of play it as kind of like a heavy draw here. But again, you hate to miss it too heavy and wide and give up a steal here. Last rock, 5th end, Team MacMillan. I think they just decided they were just going to play the draw here. Sweepers keeping a close eye on this. Haven't put a lick to it yet. Just a little bit of cleaning. Starting to go now just a little bit. Line's not a problem. Just want to make sure we get the weight dialed in here. Can't hurt it at this point here. This rock is going to end up being a bit short. Sweepers misjudged that a little bit. Team Fujisawa will steal a point here. Team MacMillan will retain hammer, trailing by 2 points going into the 6th end, which will happen after this break.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
All right, guys, welcome back. Sorry about the audio on the last end. That was my dog. Decided to join me on commentary for a little bit. So after a steal for Team Fujisawa here, Team MacMillan gonna have to really work to get their deuce. Still plenty of time in the game. The potential 2 hammers to Fujisawa's 1 here. Definitely look to get a deuce out of here. So a little bit of change in strategy. Team Fujisawa not electing to go throw a center guard, but rather just go ahead and kind of draw it in here. Does finish off the center line here, so I think we'll see them trying to put a guard here that's going to be a little bit closer to center. Having to finish it to try to get it a little bit closer to center. Does cover shot rock and sliver closer towards center line. Team MacMillan having to kind of ignore the stuff towards the center. Go ahead and try to get their, make use out of their corner guard here. Oh, no, maybe playing double corners here. Okay. So So with one tight corner guard, electing to throw a second corner. A little bit of a stagger to them, but good separation here. So a little bit of discussion for Team Fujisawa. Got the option to, I don't know, what do we like here? If we like throwing a guard that's towards the center line, throwing a second guard on shot rock. There's, I don't know. I don't think they ever discussed maybe throwing a choke where they're kind of like choking off that corner guards and taking that away here. It looks like they're going to go ahead and draw one into the house and maybe sit 1-2 here, maybe top 8. Looks like a good amount of ice though, so gotta be careful. Don't want to leave this one open where MacMillan can play a head roll behind their corners. Sweeper's on this here. Got room by the guard here. Now they can go hard on the trying to finish it and walk it over. And that is a well-judged rock. I thought they had too much ice there, but kind of shows you what I know. Well managed by the team. And a good spot sitting 1-2. Team MacMillan can't ignore those and, you know, go around the corner. They're going to have to make a play on it. Someone says they're here for the dog. The dog's quiet now. The dog was just outside. I let the dog out during the breaks in between ends. And, she's telling me she's ready to come back inside. Team MacMillan needing to address the rocks in the house, or going to try to run back this guard here. Makes contact on the top one. Makes contact on the rocks in play here. And, gets rid of them, so that's a pretty good shot. Rolls to a corner. Don't know if it's going to come into play, but that's a really good result for Team MacMillan. So Team Fujisawa going to look to put up a guard. Initial indications, I think they're indicating this is going to be a 3 guard or a tight guard. This one's got a bit of curling to do, but I don't think they want to sweep it too much and get it closer. Do want some separation here and make this run back a little bit tougher. Pretty good guard. On touch more towards the center line and does cover shot rock a good amount of it here. Enough to where Team MacMillan is going to have to make a play on this guard here. So let's see. They made one run. Let's see if they make this next one here. Sweepers off this one. Maybe a hair high. Now going to sweep a little bit. Does make the hit. And makes the double. That is well made. Shooter rolls to a corner here. So bunch of corner guards in play. Couple options for Fujisawa. You could say they could play a guard. They could play that choke that I talked about earlier where they're trying to kind of draw near the corners here. It's a tricky spot here. Because you hate to draw to a place where MacMillan can hit and roll. But they are going to play the shot. They're able to sink a good one in here. Makes this end really forced looking. This one looks to be pretty close here. Room by the guard. Now just waiting for the little bit of late finish. Want to keep it on the high side. And again, choking that off. No need to bring that down to the T line where they can kind of draw on top. But again, really just choking off that, that side there. I see Dave hopped onto the chat here. How are we doing, Dave? He'll be on doing commentary for some of the games later. If you are wanting to see the schedule, head over into Curling Zone. You can see all the games, all the schedules, the world rankings, and links to all the streaming options for all the events that are going on. Back to our featured game here. Looking to play a little bit of a tap and keeping some rocks in play, but getting access to that Fujisawa rock, where they may be able to get us directly with a little tap roll here. So does open it up. Trying to roll the shooter beneath that other corner here. That was going to be a pretty tough ask, but does roll to a good spot. Not shot rock, but is in the rings, and for Team Fujisawa playing with the lead here, probably going to have to address it. Looking to make a hit and roll here. Without much ice, looks to be pretty quiet weight here. Maybe popped it out just a little bit, but sweeper's indicating they need to go for the weight here. A lot of communication from the front here. Does make the hit and rolls towards the center. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to be able to roll much more than that. Does stay in the rings, though. So Team MacMillan will ignore that last rock and try to take advantage of them opening up that side, seeing if they can hit and roll behind some of the remaining corners that they have. Last device is rocks here, Team MacMillan. Looking for this quiet hit and roll here. Sweeper's off this, now going a little bit late to get the curl. Does get to the low side, but not quite enough, so does still remain mostly open here. So Team Fujisawa will get a chance to hit and roll back there. That was the initial call. I think there were little concerns about it because if you make the roll, you're not leaving a ton of separation, so it leaves a little cute double there for Team MacMillan. I think they were talking about maybe splitting or drawing in the other side, but it is shot rock, so they got to address it. First, the skips rocks, Team Fujisawa. Having to sweep this over. We'll make contact. Let's see if they're able to hit it thick enough to keep the shooter. They are going to keep the shooter. Rolls to a pretty good spot here. I think a lot of that is just kind of weight selection here, right? Throwing, just the right amount of weight to make the shot here. They roll to a good spot behind the corner guard. I mean, there is a double for MacMillan, but if you're MacMillan, you're not rolling to a good spot. So looks like they're setting up maybe a freeze. Maybe not quite a freeze, but drawing somewhere in front of that rock that it just rolled. That Fujisawa just rolled to. Thanks for everyone that's joining us. Joining me on the broadcast tonight. Got over 1,000 people watching on the Curling Zone YouTube page. Appreciate you guys joining me. Appreciate everyone in the chat chiming in. Kayla's settling into the hack. I think just going over some last bit of instructions with the front end, talking about where they could kind of place the rock. Again, don't have to get frozen to it. A little bit of push on this one here. This one's going to have to walk over quite a bit. A little bit tricky on the release. Does barely clear the center guard and went heavy and goes through everything. That's one Kayla would like to have back. Wasn't sure if maybe just felt something weird in the release, and talking about with her team, while Team Fujisawa has a good opportunity to put good amount of pressure on here. Yeah, Dave, I think they waited too long. I think you knew it's heavy, you're going to have to play that tick and roll, and they kind of got caught in between there. Last for Team Fujisawa here in the sixth end. Looking to put one probably top four, top button here. Got plenty of room here. Where's the weight going to be? Sweeper's on it pretty hard, backing off now. This one's coasting in. Did they go a little too hard on this? This one does end up settling back button, so not the perfect spot for Team MacMillan, but pretty good. They're going to check out a couple angles here, but really, I think you just got one shot here. Overhead cam shows that the pin is open. Seems to be a lot of discussion here. They don't think they can. You don't think they can move it? They're gonna run this corner in? I need a. Are they running this corner in? I mean, I feel like you just play that draw that Fujisawa just played, or maybe take it a hair tighter and play like back four, back eight. Like, this is bananas, right? If she makes this, I mean, I'll eat my words here, but this seems crazy. Team MacMillan, last rock, sixth end, angle run, and stick. Sweeper's off one here. This one, oh, are they hitting the back one now? Okay. Hits the back one and rolls, and they'll only give up a steal of one here. So Team Fujisawa with another steal. They'll take a 3-point lead. Team MacMillan will be down half hammer in the seventh end just after this break.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of Curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of...
I had to put on my...
And we are back. So, Team Fujisawa in control of this game here, thanks to some back-to-back steals. The last steal, bit of a question mark from Team MacMillan. Felt like the pin was accessible, but they elected to play angle run. And I think it was the angle run. It ended up being on the high side anyways, and ended up kind of ticking off a back Fujisawa rock here. So we'll definitely see some rocks in play here for Team MacMillan, having to go pretty aggressively to at least get 2 out of here. A couple pathways, right? You're looking at. You could do a deuce, force deuce, or 3. You know, that's always good. But definitely got their work cut out for them. So Fujisawa with a 3-point lead, just going to go ahead and throw a couple in the ring here, while MacMillan gets their guards up. Once again, my name is Mark, bringing you some action from the 6th draw of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown at a Sasktel Curling Stadium Swift Current. Team MacMillan going with the corners on the other sides. A bit of a stagger, not quite even, but good amount of separation here. So Team Fujisawa will, with their 2 in the rings here, we'll go ahead and put a guard up. Taking a quick peek at the other sheets here, we've got additional action going on. McEwen, again, that game wrapped up early after the 3rd end. Team McEwen won that 8-0 Libas. Kaltov is up 4-1 over Team Hosling. Returnes up 5-1 over Team Bruner, and Team Ross White up 5-2 over Team Moser. The other women's game that we got going on, Team Pop out of Korea is up on Team Cameron 5-2. Now we'll get to see some rocks moving here. Not completely covered here, so I think they're going to try to maybe play a quiet tap and roll behind their corner here. Does clear the top guard here. Does make contact. Where is this shot going to end up? And sweepers are going to take it. Does bury a sliver of it there, but should be accessible here. Team Fujisawa was able to kind of dig out some of these, rocks inside out and roll to a good spot. Now, with their lead here, they do have some leeway. They can just try to, peel things out here, but I think they'll be able to safely make a play here. Having a girl on the sweep side to make a curl does make contact, rolls, ticks off the one that was top 8, pushes out in the open, and pretty good setup here. Now they're pretty well covered behind that center guard. There is a little bit of it poking out here. Hasn't been a ton of curl tonight, so we'll see if they're able to kind of make this hit and roll on top of the one that's off in the middle of the 8-foot here. Sweeper's having to get on this. Starting to curl up now here. It's going to hit the top rock and roll to frozen on top of that yellow rock. That is a very, very good shot. Exactly how you called it. Didn't need to kill the yellow rock, right? Just kind of moving in right. You're having to keep rocks in play. Those rocks that are behind the tee line may be savers for you this end. So that's a well-made shot there. Team Fujisawa with a 3-point lead. Their main objective here is just to start getting rid of rocks here. Don't have to throw crazy weight here. Sweeper's going on hard on this one here. This one's going to cross the face, it looks like. And are they going to get this out clean? They do not. So does unlock it and pushes it in the open for the most part. Team Fujisawa is shot rock. And so now the question is, do you have to get rid of it now? Do you need to do something to kind of protect the one that you have in the rings, or kind of change the angles a little bit? It's in an okay spot. Because if you play anything on this outturn side, you risk jamming it on the yellow, but with Quiet Wake, you should be able to get to nose pretty easily, or probably can't even get to the low side here. So I think they were discussing maybe tapping it a little bit and rolling your shooter behind the cover. Yeah, just like tapping and staying there. Okay, looks like they maybe settled on playing a tiny bit of weight, maybe kind of a quiet run back where you're running the red onto that back yellow, and then rolling your shooter behind the corners, trying to achieve a couple things at once here. Having to go for a line here. Got to make sure we stay on the high side here in order to get that roll. This one is curling quite a bit here. Oh, did they change the shot? Ends up crashing on the guard. Rolls into the rings for 5th. So not super useful. not a great result for Team MacMillan as it moves the guard over and really covers shot rock and makes the MacMillan rock that's in the top of the forefoot even more accessible here. So Team Fujisawa, they're able to make a hit and roll here. Just roll a rock and a half to the left-hand side of your screen. It's going to put MacMillan in a really tough spot here. This one's a hair up, I think. Sweeper's on it, trying to carve it over. Now back on the straight side. Back to the curl side. Does make the hit and flops over about a rock there. Quick peek at the overhead cam here shows that there is an angle here that they can play a little bit of a hit and roll here, or maybe it's just kind of tap. Unfortunately, with their rock being back 12, you're not going to be able to move the rocks far enough and keep the shooters. So this one's hanging out here, trying to sweep it to get off the corner here. And they end up ticking off the corner, a little bit of a redirect, and semi-decent result out of it. Doesn't really improve the positioning of that rock there that's in the top 12 foot, but does get something in the rings in a spot that's a little tricky. Some discussion here from the team. Yeah, you can make a play on the Team MacMillan rock that's, on the center line in the 8 foot. I mean, you could also just draw on top of that and sit 3. You could sit corner frozen and take away that tap. They're discussing hitting and rolling the one on the top 12. Which, I'll be honest, I'm not worried about that one. I feel like you can place something on this outturn side. Like if you just freeze to the low side, if you're a tight guard, what do they do? Like, I think they're worried that maybe they're going to run in that one that's on the top 12 and try to bring it into play, like try to slash that in, but it's not a great angle for where it's at right now. But I suppose you can do essentially 2 things here. You can take out that rock and roll to a place in front of the other red rock and effectively, kind of take away its usefulness or its utility here. So, yeah, exactly. Kind of guarding with a hit here, essentially. I think they're just a quick double check here, making sure we're not hitting too far on the inside to potentially spin off the other one. First, it skips rocks here for Team Fujisawa. Looking for a hit and roll. Having to curl this a little bit here. Is going to get this on the high side. Is this going to be too much on the high side? And, ooh, a bad break there. Does hit the back Fujisawa stone here. So now Team MacMillan sitting 2nd and 3rd throwing here. Yeah, that was the danger of that shot. If you make it, it's a great shot, of course, but there was that risk here, and with a 3-point lead. I'm not sure if you needed to take that risk at this point. I think you kind of have to force MacMillan to make those shots. You can't really give them a hand here. So Team MacMillan, an opportunity to make kind of a quiet hit and roll here, or quiet angle run to sit 3 potentially. First rock from skip Kayla MacMillan here. Sweepers on it, having to make sure we get on the high side here to get the angle right. Looks to be pretty close. Does make contact, does hit the shot rock, and they are able to push that to the back 12 foot. So Team MacMillan sitting 3 currently. Now, there are some doubles here, for sure. Unfortunately, I can't see if there's any great angles for the double and roll to a decent spot. It looks like maybe they're going to hit the one in the top 8 foot and potentially roll towards the center. Not sure if you get the double that way, but last rock for Team Fujisawa. Looking to make a couple rocks disappear. Having to sweep early to try to push it down. Trying to get to the low side of it here. Does make the hit and is able to move it just enough after the jam on, not quite a jam, but that shot will roll far enough, so leaving Team MacMillan try to get 8 foot here to get their deuce. Last rock, 7th end. Nice positive release there for Kayla. Sweeper's not on this one here. Starting to get hop clean it a little bit. That's a good sweep here. Are they having to play off this top 8 rock? They did. So they kind of got caught in between, ended up making the call to sweep and taking off that top 2 rock. Gets their deuce here. Team Fujisawa with hammer, a 1-point lead in the 8th end. Well, happy after this break.
Hey, Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
All right, guys, welcome back. Coming to you with the last end here. 6th draw in the RBC Dominion Security Western Showdown. Got a match between 9th ranked team in the world, Team Fujisawa, taking on Team MacMillan, ranked 25th in the world. This event's hosted by the Sasktel Curling Stadium in Swift Current. My name's Martinell, and probably got an exciting final end coming up here. Some very interesting ends, these past 2 ends here. Ultimately ends up with Team Fujisawa with hammer and up 1 in the last end. With the Team MacMillan rock not quite making it on the center line, Team Fujisawa had the option to play a tick and just kind of missed it on the high side. So I'll see Team MacMillan likely throwing up another guard here, but probably trying to keep this on the center line so it can't be ticked on the move. This one, the weight seems to be pretty good, that tough, long guard weight. Is this going to overcurl? Oh, it takes a big spin at the end there. And is off the center line here. So Team Fujisawa is going to take another crack here. This tick shot, electing to take the same rock, the tighter guard here, the one that they just missed on the high side. Quick thumbs up here. I think they maybe like the weight just a little bit more. Trying to knife it over to make contact here. And this one is going to miss again on the high side. Don't get to see a lot of ticks anymore. Teams have been very good at making those shots the last few years. But both teams seem to at times have a different, maybe a challenging time to kind of read the lines here. But again, probably not playing a lot of ticks too, so. So Team MacMillan, with their guards in play, elect to draw around those. They've got a kind of pretty wide area. Wide area to kind of draw to. This one's just maybe a hair heavy. Does settle just right on the pin here. So, even though it's maybe a sliver heavy, doesn't change anything with Fujisawa's plan here. Up 1 with, just trying to keep things open. Looking to take on this top guard here. You got a couple options here. If it's, a little bit too much on the thick side, they're able to make the straight run on shot rock. But probably looking to try to get a double peel here. And makes the double peel. Does leave the shooter to play for a corner guard, although with this lead, Fujisawa is not trying to take advantage of corners and score a deuce here. But more importantly, they got rid of the center line guards. And so Team MacMillan here is going to have to basically play guard for their life and hope Fujisawa isn't able to crack a run back here. This one's maybe a hair up here. A little bit shaking a hand from the thrower here. Sweeper's in a very upright position, not ready to sweep. As this one is going to end up finishing top 12. So still some separation here, but a team like Fujisawa is definitely going to take a run at this. We're going to try to kill everything here. Just clarification on where they're hitting on that rock here. So looking to hit that stone just maybe just a hair high side to slash it onto their one that's on the button. Having to go hard on this one here. Does make contact and gets rid of the shot rock. More importantly, does keep the shooter, well, maybe not importantly. The most important thing is getting rid of both. A little bonus there is they kept it on as a biter here, so any rocks that MacMillan's able to get into the rings, they can just pick it out. They don't necessarily have to stick. Even with the 1-point lead, I guess that's true, but nice to have that in the back of your mind, I suppose. Just in case they get a situation where they're facing two. But with no center line guards in play, Team MacMillan is going to have to draw around this corner guard for Team Fujisawa. Sweeper's on it by the guard. Where's this going to end up here? Having to go a little bit more for distance. Yep, and they are able to get shot rock out of it. So shot rock. Now, question here is which way you want to throw it. You want to go to the in, you want to throw the out. Looks like they settled on the out turn. Probably straight peel. I don't think they're going to try to take the run back here. Does make the peel. Couple of options here for MacMillan. Throwing a guard. You could opt to guard that one, or looks like they're trying to guard it, but like maybe inch it a little bit closer to the center line. You could just throw a center line guard, but if you do that, you'll likely see Fujisawa just take a shot at a slash double. This one feels... I thought they wanted it a little bit closer here, but sweepers don't seem to be wanting to go on this one here. Oh, this one's carrying a lot better than I would have expected here. Good call by the sweepers there on the weight. This one does settle for a guard, but it's pretty close here. Team Fujisawa just kind of laying out where they want to make contact on this top rock to make things go away here. So let's see if Fujisawa's rink has another run double on them here. This one maybe popped a hair wide, having to push it down early, and that is a bunch of air. Lost a little bit in the release there. Had an opportunity to really kind of almost put things away, but now MacMillan's got a chance to draw behind their collections of rocks on the left side here and probably put something just above the T line here. First of Skip's rocks here. Team MacMillan without hammer. Looking to kind of set up what they hope to be a stealing rock here. Just above the tee line here. Needs to curl, but the weight's a hair heavy. This rock does settle in, half buried back of the 8 foot here. With the stagger of the rocks, you could try to double peel it, but there's plenty of room back there. So looks like they're talking about just kind of drawing into that area, but keeping it above the tee line. I think there's argument that if you put it back there, there's room for 2 rocks potentially, but you never want to be shrinking the scoring zone here. I don't hate. Yeah, I guess you probably too late to try to peel those 2 on the top. Yeah, because if you peel the 2 up there and you don't get both, then MacMillan draws top 8, top 4-ish around the corner, and then you're having a draw against a loss here. So. A little bit of discussion with the front hinge here, but about the different options here. I think they'd be happy with, under, like I said, they can go all the way frozen to it or top 4, partially buried behind that corner guard. First rock, 8th in for Skip Fujisawa. Sweeper's on this early here. Can't be light on this one here and give them more to draw behind. So they go too hard. Needs to curl, needs to finish. And it will just get a decent piece of the 4-foot shot rock, but in the open. So Team MacMillan here will have the ability to make a hit and roll and sit 1-2. They should be able to clear the back one with nose, but you can't be any part of the high side here. They'd love to get just to the low side of the Fujisawa rock here and get a little bit of a roll. Final stone, Kayla MacMillan. Sweeper's off this one here. Needs to curl it to get to the low side. Gonna be really close to the nose here. Does squeak by the stone in the back 8 foot. And played that really tightly, but the shooter ends up in a pretty decent spot for them that takes away any sort of play on that back one here. Forcing Skip Satsuki Fujisawa here to take the outturn draw against the loss. Nice smile on their face. Last rock, Team Fujisawa looking to bite the forefoot. Sweepers on this. I'm going to hold it for line and wait. Now backing off a little bit here, just managing it. Coming down. They go a little too hard, and that is going to settle. Nice shot. Satsuki Fujisawa does draw to the button, and they will win this game 7-5 over Team MacMillan. Thanks for joining us tonight on Curling Zone and Curling Stadium. We'll have additional draws all weekend. Heading over to Curling Zone to check out your draws. My name is Mark Go, signing off.